Hi guys, good evening or good morning, good afternoon. How are you all? I hope everyone is doing fine. As for me, I'm alright, I'm good. Yeah, so welcome back to my channel. If you're an old subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. If you are new, you're welcome. Let's keep the family growing. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sending the videos to your friends. Yes, so you guys, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate. So on today's channel, we are going to be talking about IELTS. Yes, so today we're going to be talking about IELTS. So from the time I posted that I'm in the UK and all that, I've been receiving a lot of questions in my inbox. People have been asking me, what is IELTS? What did you do? How did you get there? What are you supposed to do? What are the requirements and all that? And it's been so overwhelming, I can't lie. So like, I try to answer as much as I can, but it's not always easy because you find that maybe 10 people are asking you the same things and then you have to keep on repeating yourself. So because of that, today I decided to make this channel so that I can just talk about IELTS, everything that you need. Yeah, because I know like when I make a video, when someone asks, I'll just send them the video and they'll be able to get all the information that they need, because like it's been hard to keep up, because there are some people who asked me these questions and I've left them on scene, not because I want, not because I don't want to answer, but because like it gets so hectic. You find that I'm doing something, someone asks me a question and I'm not able to answer it. So because of that, I'm going to be talking about IELTS today. Yeah, so let's get into the video. So yeah, to everyone who's been asking, if you want to come to the UK to work as a nurse, you're required to write an English exam. I think everyone knows that now. Yes, so you have to write an English exam. So if you're coming as a nurse, you can either write IELTS or OET. So there are two English exams that you can write. So you don't write them at the same time. No, you choose. So you choose if you want to write IELTS or if you want to write OET. So what does the IELTS stand for? So IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. So this is an English exam that is prepared by the British Council, and you have to write it and pass it. Yes. And then OET stands for Occupational English Testing. I think so. I don't know much about OET, by the way, because in my case I wrote IELTS. Yeah. So I didn't think about OET because I didn't know what they bring. I just didn't think about it, because like in our country there's no center for OET. If you want to write OET, you either have to go to South Africa or Zimbabwe. Those are the nearest centers that we have. So because of that, I knew that I wasn't going to afford the transport and all that, so I decided to just stick to IELTS. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about IELTS because I wrote IELTS. So you guys, like I said, IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. So this is an exam that the British Council is going to prepare for you. You have to book this exam online. You book the exam and then you write it at the center that is there in your country. Yes. So for IELTS, it comprises of four parts. We have the listening part, the reading part, the writing, and the speaking parts. So in all these four parts, you have to there's a band score that you have to get in order for you to qualify. Yes. So for writing, you get a 6.5. Listening, you get a 7. Speaking, you get a 7. and reading you get a 7. So those are the maximum band scores that you have to get in each module, and then the overall band score is 7.0 and above. So what this means is that if you write IELTS and then you get, let's say you get a 6 in writing instead of a 6.5, my sister, my brother, you have failed. Yes, even if you get a 7.5, as long as you don't manage to get the required band score in any of the modules or the parts, then you have failed. Yeah. So in order for you to book for this exam, just go on Google and then you type British Council IELTS registration, and then you put your country's name. If you're from Zambia, if you're from Nigeria, if you're from Ghana, or whichever country that you are from, you put that, and then it's going to bring for you the fees. Yes. So like I mentioned earlier, if you want to come to the UK, you have to write the English exam. Like so far, there's only one, I don't know if it's continent, where I know you're not required to write the English exam, and that's for those people who are coming from the Caribbeans. But as long as you're from Africa, you need to write the English exam, because these are standards that have been set up by the NMC, and you have to meet them. So before you can register with the NMC, and by the way, NMC stands for Nursing and Midwifery Council. That's the NMC of UK. So you have to write this English exam. When you write the English exam, that's when you're going to be qualified to register with them, because they want to know that you're able to speak, communicate, you know, in English. Because if you're not able to speak English, how are you going to be communicating with the patients? Because here people, it's only English. It's different from where we're coming from back home, for some of us, where you can talk to your patients in the local language, because some of them are able to understand you well. Yes. So as long as you want to come to work to the UK, as long as you want to come and work in the UK, you have to write IELTS. Yeah. So IELTS is, I wouldn't say it's very difficult, but I wouldn't say it's simple at the same time. It's just the way it is. Yes, it's just the way it is. So I'm not going to say it's simple, I'm not going to say it's hard. So I'm going to talk about my own experience. So for me, I wrote IELTS once. I wrote IELTS once and I passed on my first attempt. Yes. Yes. So with IELTS, the time I started preparing for my IELTS, I just told myself, I have this motto which I say, it's now or never. So the moment I put my mind to say, no, I want to go to the UK and work in the UK as a nurse, I just told myself to say, it's now or never. Like, it's now or never. So even you, wherever you are, as you get your materials, your books, and start studying, just tell your mind that it's now or never. That if you don't do it now, you are never going to do it. So the most important thing that you can do for yourself is to start. Don't procrastinate, just start. What I've noticed is many times when people hear about IELTS, they'll be like, an English exam. I've been learning English from the time I was a kid, so I think that is not going to be a problem. It's a simple exam and all that. And I think that's the mistake that people make. Like that's the most dangerous thing to do. Believe me, all of us, in as much as English is not our first language, from the time we started school up to the time we completed our school, we've been taught in English. But my friends, hey, my sister, my brother, IELTS is IELTS. It doesn't matter if you've been speaking English, if you've been whatever you've been doing with your English. When they give you the IELTS exam, it's a different thing. It's a different case. And it's something that you have to take serious, because if you don't, you're going to fail. For some, they fail not because they didn't prepare well, not because they didn't study, but you just know the way exams are. Sometimes the exam will be too hard, sometimes you just misunderstand something and you end up not getting the required band score. But that should not demotivate you. The only advice that I would give is you have to be consistent. When you start studying for the IELTS, you have to be intentional about it. So know what you want at the end of the day. Be committed, be motivated, stay motivated, because this exam is expensive. Well, for me it was expensive. This exam is expensive. Yes, it's expensive. So even as you start studying for the IELTS, you have to be committed, you have to be consistent, you have to be intentional about what you want. Don't be like, no, I'll just study for 2 weeks and then I'll go and write my IELTS. My friend, me, the time I wrote my IELTS, the time I went for my speaking, I thought like the English that I've been speaking, that's when I knew that all the English that I've been speaking, that was broken English. Yes. You guys. Anywho, like I mentioned, IELTS is a very, okay, I won't say it's hard, I won't say it's simple, it's just there. So even as you are booking for the exam, I should have mentioned this earlier, there are 2 types of IELTS. So it's either you write the standard academic IELTS or you write the UKVI academic. So if you're coming as a nurse, you can write the standard academic or the UKVI academic. But if you're coming to the UK as a healthcare assistant, it is important that you write the UKVI academic, the UKVI. Anyway, you can write academic or general, but it's better you just write the general because it's even simpler. Yes. So if you're coming as a healthcare assistant, the IELTS is going to be used for processing your visa. But if you're coming as a nurse, your IELTS are going to be used for both, to meet the NMC standards and also for your visa. So you can write whichever one you want, either the UKVI or the standard, but it should be academic. Don't write general. If you're coming as a nurse, if you're a nurse and you want to come to the UK, don't write IELTS general, please. Write academic, so you can choose whichever one you want. So the UKVI is expensive compared to the academic. Yeah, but even if you're a nurse, if you have the money, it's better you write the UKVI, because in a situation where you're not able to meet the NMC required band score, you can use your IELTS to come here as a healthcare assistant, a carer, or anything. And then while you are here, you can now do your NMC registration and write the IELTS again, and then now switch and become a nurse. But if you're not able to pay for the UKVI, you can write the standard academic. For me, I wrote the standard academic. So in my currency, IELTS standard is 5,270 kwacha, while the UKVI IELTS are now, they're at 5.8. So if you have the money, pay for the UKVI, because at least it has 2 benefits. If you don't make it as a nurse, you can use it to come as a healthcare assistant, because if you write the standard academic, even if you apply to come as a healthcare assistant, you will still be required to write the UKVI, because that's the exam and that's the paper that is needed in order for your visa to be processed. Yeah. Whenever you are studying for IELTS, study the right and correct materials. Don't just study anything, because you'll be misled. Study the correct materials, please. So whenever you are studying, make sure whatever you are studying is for Cambridge. I was using the Cambridge. There's Cambridge 16, Cambridge 15, Cambridge 17. Those are the books that helped me with my IELTS, because when you use the Cambridge, those are exams that have been prepared by the British Council. So when you use them to study, it's like you're studying past papers. Even the exam that you're going to write, it's in those lines. There are certain materials, like I remember the time I was studying, there was this, I don't know if it was an app, I don't know, whatever it was a document for reading. You guys, every time I use that thingy for studying, I would get 30 out of 40, 35 out of 40, 39 out of 40 in reading. It was so simple for me. And then I was like, no, this is not doing it for me. I wanted something to challenge me, because I didn't want a situation where I'll be studying simple things and then when the actual exam comes, I find difficult things. So when I realized that that thing was just not doing it for me, I stopped and I just concentrated on the British materials. So for reading, writing, you can use the Cambridge books. They have all that. And then for listening, I was using British Council IELTS listening tests. So you just go on YouTube, just type British Council IELTS listening tests. When you type that, it will bring you the tests that have been prepared by the British Council, and then you could pick one, listen to it, get a book. Yes, that's another important thing. I had 2 books the time I was doing my IELTS. There was one, I used it for my listening and my reading. I used one book, and then for my speaking and for my writing, I used the other book. So it's important that even as you are studying, have something. You have to write something. You have to write. You're not going to study it as if you're reading a novel. That's not going to work. Yeah. So for listening, British Council IELTS listening tests on YouTube, those are good. Like, those are the only things I use for my listening. I didn't use any other thing. So just make sure as you are listening, if you want, you can put it on fast forward. Instead of the 0.25, you put it on 0.75. That way the recording will be faster, and then it's not very fast, but it's faster than usual. And then you get to train your mind. You get to be like, you'll be moving with it, because the way listening is, you'll be given a recording, and you'll be given big headsets in the exam room, and then you'll be writing. So while it's recording, you have to be writing. Concentrate on what you are listening and what you are writing. The moment you miss something, please continue writing, continue to the next question, because if you start thinking about that thing that you didn't hear, you might end up losing time and you won't hear anything. Like anything that's going to be said, and you miss out. So when you are writing, you have to concentrate and also write. Don't think too much about something. If you didn't hear the answer or anything, just leave it, go to the next question, because the recording is not going to wait for you. It will go on until it finishes. So if you wait around, if you snooze, if you zoom out, then you are left. And you are left. And then for my speaking, there's this book. It's called Marker IELTS. It's the thing that I use, that and some YouTube videos for my IELTS, for my speaking, sorry. And it was really helpful, because like when I went for my exam, every single question that I was asked, I had read about it. So what I did is I would read the book, and then like it has questions and it has answers. So when you find the answer, if you don't understand it, just go on Google, type the question, and it will bring you answers. And then from those sample answers, you are able to choose what you understand and what you can relate to. In a situation where you are asked a question, you'll be able to remember. So for me, I just used the Marker IELTS. It helped me, because every single question, starting from part 1, part 2, part 3, every question that I was asked, I'd read about it, and I knew what to say. Because when you read about something, you know what to say. It's different when you haven't. Like, for example, they'll ask you very strange questions, weird questions during the speaking exam. Like, for example, they will be like, do you like flowers? what is your favorite flower, and you find that maybe you haven't even thought about it. So if like you'll be blank, not because you don't know what to say, but because it's something that you've never thought about. But if you've read about it, if you've heard it, if you've listen to it, you'll be able to say something at least. Because for speaking, they want to see if you're able to hold a conversation. They want to hear you speak. They want you to say something, like speak. How are you able to arrange your sentences? How are you able to speak? Are you able to communicate? Do you know English? Are you able to connect your sentences and all that? Because like with speaking, there are certain ways that I've never heard of in my whole life until the time I started studying for my IELTS, where it's like off the top of my head. If it was just on an ordinary day, I would be like, when someone says off the top of my head, what are they saying? Maybe they're saying something is off the top of maybe something is off somewhere there, but then it has a different meaning. Like it's just totally different. So that's the thing with IELTS. They want you to say those words that you wouldn't say on a normal day, you know? Like this is just the way IELTS, this is just the way they want you to do things. Yeah. And when you study, when you practice, everything will be simple for you, everything will be easy for you. Yes. And then for my reading, yeah, I was using the Cambridge books. I also watched some tutors on YouTube. And that really helped me, because like there's a way they want you to answer the questions, and if you don't answer them like that, like if you don't really know the tricks of reading, like you might be wasting time reading the whole passage. Because for reading, it will have two passages. There'll be the first passage, the second one, and the third one. The first one is not very hard, it's like the simplest one, and then there's the second one, which is just there, it's like average, and then there's the third one, which is this is the difficult one among the three passages. And then after a passage you have questions, and then another passage, and then questions, and all that. And then for writing consists of two parts. There's task 1 and there's task 2. In task 1, you'll be given a graph, a bar chart, like you'll be given a diagram. So from the diagram you have to write something. You have to write what you are seeing on the diagram. So there's a way that they want you to write. There are certain ways they want you to use. And then for this task 1, you're supposed to write words not less than 150. Yes, not less than 150. And then for task 2 also has like the different types of essays. You could be asked to write an opinion essay, a discussion essay, an advantage, disadvantage, problem solution essay. So even if there's a structure they want you to follow, there's a way they want you to write that essay. And for the task 2, you're not supposed to write less than 250 words. It's important that you pay for the exam if you have the money, of course. But if you don't have, you can start studying bit by bit. But the moment you have money, pay for the exam. The number one mistake that people make is when they start studying, they'll be like, no, I'll pay for the exam when I have maybe a month left before writing. And then you'll find that even as they are studying, they're not consistent because they know that they haven't paid. But in a situation where you know that you've spent your money, like it's a lot of money, you will study because you don't want to waste your money. So if you have the money, pay for the exam and start studying. Remember the time when we were writing for our final nursing exams, that feeling, like when the timetable comes out, you have that feeling, you know that you have to write the exam. Whether you want or you don't want, you have to write the exam. So that's the same thing. So pay for your exam and start studying. You will know that you've spent money, your own money, even if it's not your own money, but you know that money has been spent and you have to pass. Yes. So, and and for me, I studied for my IELTS for 2 months. Yes. So I studied for my IELTS for 2 months, and this period was not an easy period for me. I think I even entered into depression. Yes, I think I even became depressed because I was looking at the money that I had spent, and I was also looking at the time. I thought maybe the time frame was not enough for me to study, but then like I just had to study and I had to pass, because I knew that once I fail, I was not going to be able to pay for that exam again, because I was jobless, of course. Yes, so pay for the exam and start studying. And then when give yourself enough time. Don't do it because my friend will be writing the next 1 month, let me also book for that month. My friend will only write after 2 weeks, let me also do it, because people are different. Your level of understanding and your friend's level of understanding, they are different. Your friend might be a fast learner, or you might be a slow learner, and then you see. So like, give yourself enough time to study IELTS, prepare for it adequately, be intentional about it, be consistent, and stay motivated. Yes, watch people like me, YouTubers on YouTube, watch them, let them watch what they are sharing, because when you watch that, you'll be motivated. For me, I used to watch, there was never a day that I never watched a YouTube video. It didn't matter. I just used to go on YouTube, nurses in the UK. When I see them posting their things, doing their videos, I would stay motivated, because I was like, one day I also want to go to this UK that people are going to. I also want to enjoy that kind of life. I want to enjoy the pounds. The pound is sweet. I won't even lie to you. My sister, my brother, come to the UK. The UK is like, it's big enough for everyone. Yes. So thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate. Keep liking my video. If you have not subscribed, subscribe, share with your friends. It's not easy to explain this thing. So if your friend asks you, how did that girl go to YouTube to, oh my goodness, how did that girl go to the UK? Instead of you to start explaining all those things, just share my video, share with your friends. Let's grow this family. I really appreciate. I've seen we are growing. Yes, one step at a time. So please, thank you so much. Keep watching this channel. Please keep supporting me. And like I said earlier, it's now or never. You do it now or you never do it. Now, by now, it can be next year. Your now can be today. Your now can be next month. Your now can be next year. But it's now or never. Study for those IELTS, write those IELTS, and come and join us here in the UK, because life is good though. Thank you so much once again for everything. This is Ness Ivy, and if you don't know yet, I'm from Zambia. Thank you. So thank you so much to everyone. This video is for everyone. You can be from Asia, from Africa, from the Caribbean. This video is for you guys. So like, subscribe, comment down below. If you want me to make a video on anything, just comment. I'll be in the comment section. I'll be answering all your questions. Comment, ask anything, I'll answer you. If it means making a video about it, I'm going to make a video, share with everyone, and I really appreciate everything. Bye.